Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. It is 2:11 p.m. June 28th, 2023. Well, I hope that everyone's having a fantastic day today. We're gonna get to some Minecraft as my microphone is maxed. I'm so sorry. We're gonna get to some Minecraft today. Man, I am so fucking tired. Like, I am so ready for bed. I did not sleep well. I didn't sleep well the day before. It's been a rough night. It's been a rough 2 nights. But I do truly hope that everyone's doing well. We're gonna play a little bit more Minecraft. I'm sorry for the FiveM nerds out there. I know this is kind of like going against um, my whole 60-day thing, but I'm still streaming every day. It's just I'm not streaming what I want to stream. Because honestly, I don't have the energy to play FiveM right now, even though the server's like pumping. I really don't. Like, I am like so physically tired and mentally tired right now. I just did my workout as well, which sucked. Working out when you're tired is awful. Because your motivation's at the lowest, your discipline's gonna be at the lowest, you just don't want to do it. But I did. See, that's the thing that's very interesting about me, is that I've become, and you can disregard that, I'm just getting Monstercat up. I've become very disciplined when it comes to how I live. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if anyone knows who David Goggins is. Like, I'm not someone who like goes in watching all these people, like the Andrew Tates, the Joe Rogans, Jordan Petersons. Like, I don't watch these people, but David Goggins, like, has kind of really like kind of put my ass in gear. Just because of like that man is like the most disciplined man I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, to an insane level, and it's so like visceral that it made me go and do like my own thing with working out. And that is that, like, I like one of the things I took from my understanding of what he does is that I don't take recovery. So like people who are like average workout people who are like learned is like they have a good understanding, they would generally tell you that you should have recovery days, right? You shouldn't work out every single day, like and then like never have, like, you should have breaks, right? The way I'm doing it is I'm not having any breaks. I'm hardcore. And the thing is I've never worked out before, right? So like, yeah, I've done like gymnasium stuff and like events and like games and stuff like that. But to the scale of working out, like, I haven't really done it to what I'm doing now. So while like it may seem to like you guys, it's like, well, like you're only working out for like 20 minutes, and like that's not really that much. You also need to understand that like my body type compared to, not my body type, my body weight compared to the majority of other people is also really different. So like I would say like I am very overweight. So I don't know how far I am like in the whole like obesity thing. Like, I don't really try to focus on that. I just know that like I have a lot of weight in my body. So that means everything for me is harder, right? Like you're kind of climbing up a little bit of a taller hill. So when it comes to, working out and all that, like motivation's already an issue, discipline's already an issue, and then you have the added issue of, diet, and then you also have the added issue of like just starting, right? But when I saw like how viscerally like David Goggins' story was, where this man was like 300 pounds, like he didn't like what he was doing with his life, he didn't want this to be what it was, and he changed his whole life around, became a fucking Navy SEAL, and like became this very, very, very disciplined person about, you know, how he does it. And even he has days of like procrastination and stuff, right? But it came to a point to where, like, you know, he like changed it. And it was coming to a point for me where like I was getting ready to travel to Newfoundland, and I wanted to I wanted myself to get to a point to where I could look good, you know, like you kind of want to come in presenting a good like body types, like showing people from your old hometown that you've improved and all that. And that was my like original goal, and it's very selfish, which is good because, you know, that's how stuff works, right? But, you know, I came to that point, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, what happens after? Am I just gonna stop and go back to eating pizza buckets every day? I'm like, no, I've been on a diet before. You know, I know the pitfalls. I know what happened to it. I know what the problems was. And I know how to make an approachable diet to how I live my life, right? Because I'm a very lazy person, right? I don't like doing stupid shit. So basically what had happened was that I just came to the realization that everything that I do needs to happen, like, it needs to happen in succession, but not at the same time, right? So, like, for example, when it comes to, like, how I started off with diet first, right? So, a diet's really easy for me because I'm actually really good at doing diet stuff for what I like. So, I do a high-protein diet. So, we're talking 2 steaks every day, like a potato or or fries, which fries are bad for you, but that's what I'm doing. And like 2 steaks, and then that's supper or dinner or whatever the fuck you call it. And for breakfast, it's like 6 eggs, right? 6 eggs, ham or bacon, one of those things. Try to not have any bread. Have ketchup on the side to make it palatable. And, you know, do something like that. And I've been on this diet, the same thing, every day. 120 days, I think I'm at. I think I'm at 120 days, or I'm at 90 days. Because I don't keep track. Like, I'm not someone who, like, really wants to, like, flex my achievements or whatever. But it is nice to, like, kind of, like, take it in retrospect and see what you've progressed to, right? Like, see what you've done. So, you know, like, I had that. So I started off a diet, okay? And it also, like, there was another thing, is, like, my dad has a disease called the Crohn's disease. And for his, he was getting swapped off of pills, because he's, like, taking a lot of pills, like, his whole life. And he's getting swapped off his pills to where it was different. He was working out. He was trying to get his body better. He was trying to, like, gain weight, because Crohn's, like, it's very hard for people with Crohn's to put on weight. But yeah, it was that as well. And then he picked up a machine, and if you know anything about me, I'm very antisocial. So, like, I don't want to go to a gym or whatever. So I have my own machine here, and there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that will stop me from doing my diet stuff and my workout stuff. Like, there's nothing. Like, right now I'm having a cheat day. I still work out. Right? I don't take breaks. I don't fuck around with that. It doesn't matter if I'm exhausted. So, for example, today specifically, I stayed up for 28 hours, and then I had 2 hours of sleep, and now here we are. Okay? And now here we are. So, like, that's fucked. Right? Like, that is absolutely fucked. But I still worked out, right? And I also just increased my reps. So I went from doing 10 reps of each set. So I'm pushing 96 pounds on front press, 80 pounds everywhere else. And then 40 pounds for butterfly, I believe. That's the wrong way. And yeah, that, like, I just switched it from 10 to 20. So it's obviously a lot more stuff. You know, even though I'm fucking, like, physically exhausted here and I have a lot of stuff that I wanted to do today, I still did it, right? I still found time for it. And I think that's a big thing when it comes to working out. Like, if you're ever, like, in that mindset of, like, you know, like, if I want to work out, like, I need to do this whole thing, I need to make sure I got my diet right, I need to make sure I'm eating my greens, I need to make sure that I'm eating all these specific things, I need to make sure that I'm mid-maxing my workout, like, managing micros and macros and all that. You don't have to do any of that shit. Like, maybe if you want to, sure. But, like, for me, like, I've lost 20 pounds by doing it the way I think works for me, right? And you could say it's water weight and whatever, and it probably is, right? But the thing is I'm a lot more healthy because of what I eat, right? So with that, like, just because I'm doing it myself, and I'm not min-maxing, right? You don't need to min-max. Like, anything is good as long as you're doing something to get out of the rut you were previously in. So I was in a rut. Like, I was eating the same meals every day, which I'm doing now, but it's the same garbage meals, right? Like, a truly, truly awful meals. It's like, we're talking about, like, 4 pizza pockets, 500 calories a piece, 3 meals a day. So that's 4 times 4, or that's 4 times 3, right? And that's times 500 calories. That's a lot of fucking calories. What's that, 4,500 or something like that? Like, that's a lot. So, that's what works for me, you know? And I'm very passionate on, like, the whole workout thing. Because, like, I don't know, it's important for people who are around my body size to understand that, well, I don't want to fat shame. As someone who's fat, like, you shouldn't be fat. You really shouldn't, right? If you have some kind of, like, disease or whatever the fuck, like, other bullshit reason other than you being, like, eating too much food, like, to say why you're fat, like, that's fine, right? But, like, this whole, like, body positivity thing when it comes to fat people, like, it's actually not very helpful to anybody. Like, sure, it's very wholesome and nice, you know, for people to feel, like, wanted and appreciated and all that. It's still, like, you know, like, you're unhealthy. It's dangerous. All that weight is on your heart, right? It's like, you can't realistically expect, like, that to be, like, a positive thing for, like, the generations of, you know, people that all have this, like, preconceived notion on what, like, what's positive, what's negative, and all that, right? So, like, it's kind of fucked up. That's why I always cringe anytime I see, like, specifically people supporting people who are clearly, like, obese, like, eating themselves to death. Like, it's sad. What the fuck is happening here? Am I just working with uneven numbers, or... So what is this? This is 48. This is 49. Okay, so let's just push this whole thing 1. That's fine. But yeah, it is really sad for me to see, like, people doing that. Even as a fat person, right? I've been fat, like, my whole life. So, you know, like, at the end of the day, while, you know, coming in and, like, saying to somebody, you know, being fat's not okay, or you're fat, or, like, being demeaning and stuff, is very negative, right? And, like, some people will self-harm because of that. I think some people need to hear that being fat is not healthy. Like, no one dislikes you for being fat, but people want you to be like, they want you to live a prolonged and prosperous life, right? Like, be okay, like, do your thing, you know. But also, it's not up to me, right? Like, it's not up to me. Some people are gonna feel completely different. Some people are gonna feel completely different. But yeah, the only reason I brought that up is because I saw a Long Beach Griffey video, which if you know anything about him, you know that his shit's always out of pocket. Like, hella out of pocket. That it's like, it was about that. And like, I had a chuckle at it. But yeah, it is really sad for me to see stuff like this. I'm trying to build a big ass fucking castle keep thing. It's not really panning out the way I wanted it to. Is there anything else like I wanted to build? I know I have an island that I'm in the process of building. I mean, I'm facing all the same problems. I'm getting fatigued with building kind of like the same thing. Just a little bit. Like, even though I love building stuff like this, right? It just, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I also, like, I don't know, like, how I got to certain places in my life to where, like, I do things correctly and some things I do incorrectly. It's like, for example, like, I don't drink soda ever. So, like, today on cheat day, like, I'll have a soda. Just out of, like, you know, just for fun, really. But, like, all the time, it's always water. Like, I have a 4-liter Tefal fucking metal-ass water bottle here. A 4-liter one. And, it's awesome. Alright. I still haven't figured out what I'm doing with this. I really like this design, but I'm kind of like lost. Like, just a lot of builds that I'm just kind of like losing a lot of interest in, which is really sad because I used to love doing this. Like, the thing is about this world is that it is so big that I would pass out before explaining everything in it. Like, I would actually pass it. So let me actually just showcase this because I do very much get a lot of pleasure out of... Wow, was that high up? I do actually get a lot of pleasure out of showcasing this world because it is so cool and it is so thematic. So this is the tower machine. And if you say like it looks like a cock, I'm gonna fucking smack you. This is the tower machine. And this is like my pride and joy, as like everything you see here is all customly done. Like everything is all customly done, and it has a vibe. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is so cool, right? And it's based off of Critical Role. There's a lot of stuff I take and based off of Critical Role, but it's a lot harder to base, like, because that's just like a in your head thing, right? It's a lot hard to base stuff like that and put it in Minecraft. And that's like what was one of my favorite things. And there's just so many things here that I built. Like, everything has purpose, right? So anytime you see food, it's like, well, how long has this bread been sitting there? It's arcane bread. It's always the freshest fresh that has ever fresh. What about the candles? Did they ever melt? Nope. Same thing with lanterns. Like, they all have the forethought. It's like, well, blue means mage, right? Blue's magic, right? And you come in here and it's a little bit more earthy, right? But you also need to remember, if that, like, this has a lot of bases in Dungeons & Dragons, so there are unseen servants, which are invisible servants, that will maintain stuff like this, right? And just be prepared for the Lord to return, even though it's been like fucking 500 years. And we have like a little gallery or gala area, and like a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little view here with, you know, these little island things that are supposed to be orbiting this this build here. And we have this nice, beautiful spiral. Some of my best work. We come into the blue area. Sorry, I'm very bloated because pizza. We come into the blue area, and this is just like basic servants' quarters, right? So big, glorious beds and all that. Not a lot of stuff here. Other than this, I think this is like the only thing that I actually did here. My interior decoration here on this floor is actually pretty loose. Which happens, right? You can't be like 100% on everything. And we come in here, and this is just a thematic area here. Like, this is so thematic. This is a always heated hot tub, pool, both thing. And it's really cool. And you have views like this, right? The whole astral sea. And you have your vaulted ceilings and lighting that makes sense. Spiral staircase that actually works. And we come up to the very top. Or sorry, the very second top. And we have like custom stuff. So like this is diamond. Which, by the way, my diamond block got changed. What the fuck? It's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like this. We have like a little emerald thing. This is all chisel and bits. We have fucking nice depth stuff here. We have books placed. We have double doors. We have more windows. We have the quarters for the Lord. And if we head up one more floor, we have our teleporter. And the thing is this place is so big that I can't even like fully explore this area because of how fucking complicated it is. Like, it's not like, oh hey guys, I'm just gonna walk around this area. It's like, no, there's like puzzles that you actually have to get through, and like in some cases, like it's not like you go through a thing. Because the way this whole thing works, the way this whole fucking build works is and let me just clear my inventory so I can stop being distracted here. Basically what happens, you fall in like this. Oh, I don't remember doing that. You have these banners here, these mysterious banners. And you pull one across, and then you'll find a door. You'll pull one across, and you'll get blasted with like a fucking lightning bolt from hell. That's why these bodies are here. Did I finish this? I would hope so. Yep. So, like, it is its own character. Right? It is its own character. Like, everything has its own little quirks and stuff. You're not supposed to be able to see that. What about fucking my view distance? Huh. Interesting. I actually don't mind that you can see it. Huh. That's actually pretty cool. Okay. So, like, in its original state, the way this is supposed to look is, like, every one of these, like, little areas are hidden, right? But they have been explored. It's like this leads to the garden and the prison of soot. This leads straight to the garden. They're straight to the prison of soot. So we have monsters here, and then we have other stuff. And there's supposed to be tools up here. And there is just so much redstone going on, like, just to show you just a little bit. Like, this is just a little bit of the redstone. Just for this. And this is small, right? This is pretty insignificant. Holy fuck. I've completely forgot I put these here. Jesus Christ. Damn. Yeah, those guys are fucking hard to kill, by the way. Like, really hard to kill. So it's just a prison. And every one of these chests, like, if you open it, you get killed with necrotic damage. Or you get hit with necrotic damage. That will kill you if you go below 0 hit points, which is a D&D thing. Don't worry, if you don't know anything about D&D, come August, you'll fucking know. Massive. Fucking massive. But the way this is designed is there's no exits, so you have to come through like this, just so I don't have to fuck around with shit. Like, it's just so much stuff. Down here leads to the garden. I would love anything but to go to sleep right now, but I need to at least make it a fucking at least 7. Like, at least 7, which is 5 hours away. Yeah, so this leads straight from the end dimension to the... And I also found out about that apparently you can make your own dimensions. Which I don't know what mod or what thing that was, but I really wanted to figure that out, and I didn't. I completely forgot about it until now. So I have my own fire dimension, I could have my own water dimension, I could have my own air dimension. And this is the garden. What has happened to my grass? Here. It looks better on the ground, I suppose. This place was a eye-opener when I was building it. Because if you look at it, and specifically this here, this was a eye-opener on how I build Minecraft stuff. Because this looks amazing, right? Even though it's kind of like a stage, per se, it just looks so cool. Because you have the 2 level stuff. Right? And, like, you can go up here, and, like, I could build stuff here if I wanted to. And there's supposed to be a cave over here, but I never ended up building it. But yeah, like, this area is actually so lit. And it's huge! And this is technically in space. And then we just have our little pathway up, and then this leads to the tower machine that we're just at. And then we have, like, mega builds, like, over in the water plane, which is, it's just its own thing. You want to see some lag, you're about to. Oh, here we go. We're already there. The water plane is a build that's taken me many hours to build. Like, ridiculous amounts of time. Like, I'm talking 44 hours. Like, I'm not estimating here. I know it for a fact of how long it took. Okay? If you're curious on why it took so fucking long, it's because I basically hand-built everything here. And by hand-built, I mean hand copy and pasted it, like, per section. So, like, obviously you can see that everything's super bugged out. That's because the copy and paste went really wrong. And honestly, I've been trying to delete this for ages because it just makes my shit lag. But, the thing is about that dimension thing I was just talking about, and I do need to get out of here because this is awful. That dimension thing I was talking about, like, I could solve all my problems with doing that. Like, making my own dimension. Because if I could make a water dimension, I could do this all in World Painter. And I could have the water at any height I want, which achieves a multitude of goals, right? So just to give you an illustration of what this is basically supposed to look like, Let me set a scene for you, okay? I want you to use your imagination for a second here and pretend for a moment that we are in a um in a portal room, right? We come to this portal. It's clearly a water portal. All you can see is the depths beyond, and you enter this portal. And when you enter this portal, you can breathe underwater, thankfully, so that's not a worry. You are completely submerged, head to toe, and you cannot see the surface. Like, we're not talking 50 feet. We're not talking 100 feet. We're not even talking 1,000 feet. We're talking about 10,000 feet deep beneath the ocean. And somehow you're still alive. The pressure doesn't make you combust, right? That's the idea for the water plane. So having something like that to where basically it's a planet with water. And you're deep. You're fucking deep. So that is oh, my lights just blinked. That is the thing. Like, that is the want. Now, I don't remember where I specifically found that amount of information to where I could like go and like make my own dimension. But I know I talked about it in my Discord. Dimension. Let's see if I can find it. Water plane. Yeah, I don't remember where I was talking about it. All I know is apparently there's a way to have oh Jesus. To have multi-dimension stuff. Because if I can do that, if I can do it to where I can make my own portal, and I think it was a modding thing. In fact, that might be exactly what it would be. I think it was a modding thing, to where it was a mod that you could have your own dimensions. Let me just Google that real quick, and I'll fly, so I don't get fucked here. Alright. Let me just Google that. Custom dimension mod Minecraft. Just enough of dimensions for 1.12 and lower. Okay, no. This? No, 1.12. Hey! Welcome. Actually, control now. Yeah, the water plane is the lag central area. Oh yeah, we also have this build. You want to talk about complicated redstone? For your redstone nerds, fucking hold on to your guts. If you like combination locks, this is technically one. It's one in the most basic form. That's what it is. Alright. There's a reason why I have all these things, right? So deep in the jungle, you come up here, and you see this little thing. Oh god. I would like to be in creative, please. You dig in or whatever, and then bam, you're in a maze. All this is poison, by the way, like hella poison. Like poison enough to kill all these fuckers. So that's just storytelling that you don't know how bad it is until you actually go through. And like I think like stuff like this would be such an interesting like D&D map, because if you look at it in its actual form, which is how it's supposed to look, which is this. Like this would be very spooky. I'm just like, why is this indented? What's down here? What's over here? Like, this place is one of the most, like, redstone-centric spots. And it has a lot of stuff. And I wanted to get to a point to where I would come to a point where I forgot what was what. So I can come through this kind of, like, as blind as I could see it. But this place is huge. Like, I remember when I was building this, building a maze is not easy. It was a lot of color coding. And there are a lot of traps. I don't remember if there are any traps here. If they are, I'll try my best to avoid them. And see if I can. Yeah, we have this. Some fool's gold is what you would call it. Just to give you a really good perspective here. Really nice. Like, really nice, really beautiful. Like, all this stuff is very spectacular. For me. And we come all the way over here. We'll be back to where we started. Like that. So yeah, like this place is huge. Like, just to give you like a kind of an idea. Like, it's massive. Right? It is massive, massive. Like, we have stuff like this, which is really cool, really fun to build. We have like pearly depths. And then if you come down to the bottom, you can actually see like how insane it gets. Each color represents another line of redstone that activates another thing. And some of these are red herrings. So, for example, like this brown one here, the white one needs to be activated first. This whole build is so sick. And then it leads to an old god, which is over here. Anyway, I think I've explored enough. I need to either get to bed or stay awake by some other means. I do hope that everyone has a good rest of their evening, morning, afternoon, whatever. And, you know, we will be playing FiveM tomorrow unless I get fucked. I will be streaming regardless. Remember, I am streaming every single day, regardless of what's happening. And hopefully we'll be on FiveM tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway.
Tank said E and we all agree that we're just